informational interviewing. And I don't know if you've heard of this or not, but the best way I know to explain this is really just to tell you my story, because I did this when I was looking for a job. And I didn't think of this idea. Somebody else thought about it. I read about it in a book. But I knew that I wanted to work on a college campus. I didn't know in what capacity. And I knew I didn't want to teach, though, because I don't have a PhD, and I really don't have any plans to go and get a PhD. No interest in that. So faculty is not the route that I want to go. But I knew there were other offices on a college campus that I might be interested in. So I read about this informational interviewing concept, and here's what it coached me to do. I found some offices on college campuses that sounded interesting to me. I would pick up the phone and I would call the director of that office, and I would say, "Hi, my name's Steve Sellers, and I'm doing some job research. Can I come talk to you about what it's like to work on a college campus?" And I made sure to tell them two important things that helped me get these appointments. One, I told them that I am not applying for a job. I said, I'm not bringing my resume. I don't want to fill out an application. I simply want to talk to you about what it's like to work in your office. I don't want to apply for a position. And the second thing I told them was, I only want 15 minutes of your time. I know that you're busy and I don't want to take a lot of your time, but if you could talk with me for 15 minutes, that would be wonderful. And quite honestly, I called some people, and some people were nice, but they said no. I don't really have time for that. But some people I kept calling, and eventually I ran into some folks that said, "Sure, come on, I'll talk to you." And I would go to these appointments, and I wouldn't wear a suit and tie, but I would dress nice. I tried to make the best impression that I could, and I would walk into these interviews, and I would ask questions like, tell me about where did you go to school? How did you get interested in working on a college campus? What do you like about your job? What do you not like about your job? And as I asked these questions, I made a point to really, really listen. As they talked, I never interrupted them. I made good eye contact. I even had a notepad, and I took notes, and I listened to what they had to say. My 15 minutes turned into 30 minutes or 45 minutes. Because this, people love to talk about themselves. I would have my conversation with them, and towards the end, I would always ask, so if you were me and you wanted to break into working on a college campus, what would you do? And they started giving me great ideas. Some people would say, you need to call so-and-so at this university because I think they're looking. Or they might say, you need to join this association because all of the higher education jobs, non-faculty jobs, are listed in this association. I didn't know that, so I would write that down, and I would write down the name of the person that they said to contact, and I got great job leads or great job ideas based off of our conversation. If I could do that, why couldn't you do that in your particular field, in your particular area? I'll tell you the big benefits I got are I made a contact. That person that I did my informational interview with, if they are hiring, say 3 months down the road, I submit my resume, do you think they're probably going to take a little longer look at me? Probably. They're probably going to remember, hey, we had an informational interview, I enjoyed that, and I'm probably going to get better consideration than just a total stranger. Secondly, I got a good idea of what the job was like. They told me the good and the bad of the job, and there's good and bad to working on a college campus, and there's good and bad with every job. You can get that information. And thirdly, they gave me great job ideas, job leads, job tips that I could follow up on. If I can do it, why couldn't you do it? Page 19, there's a link that you can go, and we put together a how-to on informational interviewing. Our office will even give you ideas of people to call to try to arrange these informational interviewing appointments. So if you want to really kind of jumpstart your job search, I would really recommend the informational interviewing. It's a good strategy to take. Page 20, just a quick note on using the World Wide Web, and I know you know how to use the World Wide Web, and I encourage you to do that, but do not let that be your job search in and of itself. That needs to be one part of your job search. And what I always tell people, remember, is that networking and talking to people is always the most effective thing that you can do in the job search. If you ever have the choice between going to talk to somebody in person and spending time online looking for a job, always choose talking to a person. Okay, so just be cautious of that. Sometimes it's easy because it's easier just to log on and look for a job that way. It's a little tougher to set up informational interviews or go talk to people in person. Page 21, other tips: stay organized, follow through. If somebody says send your resume to me, I mean, you got to do that. Also, you're going to need to make sure your resume is top notch. Don't just put it together in 10 minutes and send it out the door. Make it really, really good. It'll pay off if you do that. Look at our database, check that, participate in our mock interviewing program, attend career fairs, network, we've talked about that. Do that as much as you can. And then lastly, be patient and be persistent. It takes time, and you have to kind of keep at it for most people. But if you do those things, I think your chances of finding an internship are probably pretty good. Sometimes students find their own, and that's great. We love that. That's wonderful. If you find your own and you're interested in academic credit, make sure that you contact us and let us know. Faculty, a lot of faculty, they won't grant credit for internships if a student doesn't work with them from the very beginning. If a student calls them, say after 3 months or 6 months on the internship and says, hey, I want to get credit, most of our faculty are going to say no, even if it's a good opportunity, or they want to be involved from the very beginning. So if you find your own, let us know, contact us, we'll help you contact the faculty and try to coordinate that if possible. Some internships are approved for academic credit, some are not. We send all of our internship job descriptions to our faculty, and they're the ones that decide, hey, I'll grant credit for this, or hey, I won't grant credit for this. Just some other notes on credit. If you're in an internship that's been approved for credit and you sign up for the course, it varies from department to department, but typically it's upper level elective credit that'll count towards your degree. But you need to double check that, because if you've already filled up all of your electives, you may not want to take it for credit if it's not going to help you graduate. The internship class that you sign up for, if it's a 3-hour class, it costs the same as what another 3-hour class cost. Whatever 3 hours cost, that's what the internship class cost. And the internship class there's an academic component to it as well too. It's not just go to the job, work, and get a grade. I mean, that's a big part of it, but the faculty member, and it depends on your faculty as to how they'll do it, but there's going to be some type of academic component that you'll have to do for the course. Okay? The next page says choose your level of involvement. I put this on here, and what I want to emphasize here is that our office, we are interested in partnering with you at whatever level that you want. Some students, all they do is they put their resume in our database and they just look at our job postings online, and they let us know which ones they want their resume sent to, and that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. But some students want to be more active than that. Some of them want to partner with us and have us help them in the job hunt, and we're happy to do that. I'm going to partner with a student anytime that I can to help them find an internship. We don't really do everything for the student, as far as if a student said, here's my list, you figure out if I can intern in any of these places. We don't necessarily do that, but if a student says, I'll take the top 5, you take the bottom 5, you bet. We're all over that, and we'll do that, and we'll work with a student. So really, any way that you want to be involved with us, if you just want to look at the job listings, that's great. Or if you want to meet with us and we'll brainstorm with you on companies that we could apply for or follow up with certain companies, we're happy to do that as well too. So whatever level of involvement you want, our office is willing to work with you. Page 24 says ethical considerations, and just the bottom line on this is we view you guys as ambassadors from WT to different businesses, whether you're applying for an internship or whether you're working in an internship. And we expect you to represent us well. Every student that gets involved in our program, they sign what we call a statement of ethics. So we have you guys sign that because we want to emphasize that we want you to represent us well in a professional way. Page 26, wrapping it up. If you look on that page, the top 4 bullets, those are the things that you need to do. If you want to get involved with our office, this is your checklist. You need to develop your resume, put it in our database, get us a copy of your transcript, and then polish your interviewing skills. And then the bottom 4 bullets, those are the job search strategies that I presented to you, and I don't expect that you do all of those, but maybe one of those. Maybe you think, I'll try the networking thing, or maybe I'll do the top 10 list. Hopefully one of those will be something that you can latch on to improve your chances of finding an internship. And I'll just tell you, the more proactive you choose to be, the greater your chance of finding an internship. The last page has my contact information on there, and if you have a question, something doesn't make sense, feel free to contact me. We want to partner with you and help you find a great internship. Thanks.